How do you feel about this?
Oh, see, that's tough.
4 teams of 8 with one team being the Rising Stars.
So I saw Kevin Durant said this today or maybe yesterday or whenever it was, but they should go back to the East versus West. And that's when I loved it. I think it should be East versus West. Like, that's true All-Stars. Like,
no doubt.
East versus West, battle it out.
That's what it was about.
Yeah. So I think that's what it should be, but obviously not the commissioner.
The Kelce brothers were ready to break the internet when they revealed their first guest on their podcast as Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark, the 22-year-old basketball phenom and reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year with the Indiana Fever, took center stage on the wildly popular New Heights podcast with NFL superstars Travis and Jason Kelce, and the conversation was anything but ordinary. Clark peeled back the curtain on her life, career, and what makes her one of the most exciting athletes in the game today. Caitlyn Clark revealed a surprising milestone during her appearance on the new podcast. She received her first college recruiting letter in the 7th grade.
Well, I'd give you the answer my mom would say is probably academic All-American. She was proud of me for being a good student in college. So
That's a good answer.
Nobody
Love
talks
that
about
answer
that.
from Mom.
This early recognition of her talent could have easily overwhelmed a young athlete, but Clark's parents had a unique plan to shield her from the pressure. To keep her grounded, they asked her older brother to collect the mail and even hid recruitment letters from her. By limiting her exposure to such early attention, they ensured she could focus on enjoying the game rather than feeling the weight of expectations. Her parents also limited her playtime, emphasizing a balanced life and a typical childhood. This thoughtful approach prevented burnout and allowed Clark to develop a genuine love for basketball. Reflecting on those formative years, she credited her parents' guidance for helping her stay passionate and focused as her career progressed.
You don't really care. It kind of just comes with it. It comes with having fun. And I think that the Time Athlete of the Year was cool too, just because you see the list of like all the athletes that they've had prior to me. And a lot of those people I idolized growing up, and LeBron's been the only other basketball player. So, and it's cool as a woman, like they haven't had many females on the cover too. So for women's sports, it's kind of special, but you know, just kind of comes with playing the game and having fun, as you guys know.
That's awesome.
I love it. What did you study in college? What was the?
I was into business school. I got my degree in marketing.
You're
a marketing major?
I'm a marketing
major.
There we go.
You guys are great at marketing.
We're all right.
Guys like me, we got to figure out.
Caitlyn Clark likened her parents' approach to building a solid foundation for her life, like laying bricks for a strong house. They made sure she had a tight-knit, supportive circle around her, ensuring she wasn't just living and breathing basketball, but also enjoying the simple joys of childhood. Instead of treating her middle school years as a race to the finish line of college recruitment, her parents let her savor the journey, like stopping to enjoy the scenery on a road trip. This balance kept her from feeling rushed or overwhelmed by early decisions, allowing her to grow at her own pace while still developing into a basketball phenom. With her massive fan base and commercial appeal, she hit the elite game of golf.
You recently played in a pro-am with Annika Sorenstam.
I did.
You hit a person on a tee box. I don't know how you do that.
Okay.
Who hit a person on a tee box?
Yeah, I know I can relate. Jason, I don't know if you played in enough pro-ams yet to hit anybody, but
the video that was going viral where I like completely topped it. So it's crazy. Like we're playing like these long par threes that are like 200 yards. I'm like, I'm not good enough to hit a par three like 200 yards. Like, so I whip out my hybrid. I'm like teeing up my hybrid club. Just top it like straight at a fan to the left.
Been there.
But I think they dodged it
down the third base line.
But I nailed somebody on a different par three, like some woman, like right in the shoulder. Like
shoulder?
And I saw a TikTok like the next day, just like black welt on her arm.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just how you hit her good if she's got a black welt.
Participating in the elite Annika Pro-Am event, Caitlyn Clark adopted golf as a new challenge during her off-season. Renowned for her ferocious competitiveness on the court, Clark gently shared how the same attitude shows itself on the golf course. She related an unforgettable and rather humorous moment when a tee shot veered off and unintentionally struck a spectator. True to her lively demeanor, she managed the event with elegance and amusement. This golf trip also highlights her connection to Q Gainbridge, a business that promotes women in sports. Gainbridge's support honors not only her basketball skills, but also her capacity to interact with supporters both on and off the court. But since she had lived in Des Moines, did that affect her choice for favorite Chiefs player?
Being a part of Chiefs Kingdom.
That's right.
How long have you been a part of the kingdom?
I'm sorry, Jason. Not
You
to
can
crush
apologize
you.
to me. I'm honorary member.
I'm a Midwest kid, so there's there's this picture that's been circulating a couple years ago when I was on Peyton Eli's Monday Night Show, where I'm in a full Chiefs outfit. I had family in Kansas City, and I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, which is only 3 hours from Kansas City. So that's just the closest NFL team. So my dad was a big Chiefs fan growing up. So people think I'm like a bandwagon Chiefs fan. I'm like, no, I was there before Patrick and Travis. Like
I love it.
We were ride or die. So we've been big fans. And now obviously all the success you guys have had has made it a lot of fun for us.
As a lifelong Kansas City Chiefs fan, Caitlyn Clark didn't shy away from sharing her admiration for the team, particularly for star players Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. During a recent appearance, she delighted Kelce by naming him her favorite player, sparking a lively exchange. The conversation took a humorous turn when Kelce did a spot-on impression of Mahomes, showcasing their camaraderie and adding a playful touch to the segment. Clark fondly reminisced about attending Chiefs games with her family, recalling the excitement of watching their edge and clutch factor in action. Her connection to football and her admiration for the team reflects her competitive spirit and appreciation for excellence in sports. But outside sports, who else is in the picture?
I would say, like, I don't know, life-changing maybe?
That's a great one. I think
really
And like
that's
all in a good way. Like, I mean, things just change really fast. Like, as you guys know, like that's just how the world works. And especially with social media, people see a lot of your life, but that's what makes it fun and why I've had so many cool opportunities too. So it's crazy. Like looking back at a year ago today or around this time, like I was just beginning my senior year of college. And obviously, you know, people knew who we were and people attended our games, but it's obviously not on the magnitude that it is now.
Yeah.
So like life just changes fast, but that's what makes it fun and cool. And, you know, quickly started a new chapter of my life too, like moving here to Indianapolis, and feel lucky I'm still in the Midwest. I know you guys like the Midwest. So
Rookie year in pro sports is usually tough, and Caitlyn Clark's WNBA debut was no exception. It usually involves moving to a new city, adjusting to a new team dynamic, learning from new coaches, and attempting to create a schedule in an unfamiliar atmosphere that brought significant changes. All of this came after a grueling NCAA season, where Clark carried her team all the way to the championship finals. Her tireless grind left little time for recovery or complete preparation for the rig of professional basketball. As if these hurdles weren't enough, Clark also experienced an unwelcoming reception from some seasoned WNBA veterans who publicly insulted her and gave little encouragement. The press wasn't any kinder, underestimating her talent and failing to encourage her throughout the bumpy start to her rookie year. Yet despite the odds, Clark's resilience shone through. After a few games to establish her feet, Clark began to prosper. Her unquestionable skill, unrelenting dedication, and competitive fire helped her to adjust swiftly to the top level. She not only hushed skeptics, but shattered WNBA records in her very first season. By the end, even her sharpest adversaries had no choice but to accept her as one of the league's most fascinating players. Clark's ability to overcome adversity and perform at an extraordinary level confirmed her as a trailblazer and a star in the making.
for sure. And like, you come in as a rookie and like you said, like you're trying to figure out a new environment, new teammates. Like you don't want to say too much. You don't want to say too little. And it's just so hard. But like in my scenario, and obviously you guys too, like you're already highly thought of. Like people are turning to you to like be something or be someone. So it's hard. Like you're trying to get your feet wet, but also not do too much. And I think that's kind of what I struggled in early on is like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how they're going to react.
For not knowing, you nailed it.
Yeah. But also, like, I had a lot of really good vets around me, too. So I feel very grateful for that. And we had a fairly young team, too. So, like, people had been through it fairly recently, so they knew how I felt. But, like, I feel like that definitely is a huge challenge. And that goes for whatever professional sport. Like, you're trying to learn, but also people are looking at you like, you got to perform and like be what they drafted you to be. And that can be tough.
Caitlyn Clark has become a powerful voice for the growth and recognition of women's sports, utilizing her position to advocate for equity and opportunity. In an uplifting interview with Time magazine, Clark praised the trailblazing great who came before her, praising their contributions to improving women's basketball and creating the chances she has today. Clark passionately underlined the necessity for continuous investment in women's sports, stressing that reaching equity with men's leagues takes sustained effort and support from fans, sponsors, and organizations. She stressed the necessity of expanding women's basketball, both in terms of visibility and resources, to ensure future generations of female players have the chance to thrive. Her advocacy isn't simply words. It represents a deep commitment to producing sustainable change. Clark's vision for women's sports is one of progress, inclusiveness, and equality, where every young athlete may dream as large as she did and make those goals a reality.
I did.
And how do you feel about this?
See, that's tough.
4 teams of 8 with one team being the Rising Stars.
So I saw Kevin Durant said this today or maybe yesterday or whenever it was, but they should go back to the East versus West. And that's when I loved it. I think it should be East versus West. Like, that's true All-Stars. Like,
no doubt.
East versus West, battle it out.
That's what it was about.
Yeah. So I think that's what it should be, but obviously not the commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on board for East versus West All-Stars. I think that's the whole point of it. That's why you're an All-Star. It's the best from the East versus the best in the West. Play each other. See which side's better.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not a fan of any of these in-season tournaments that the NBA is doing.
Yeah. I was actually talking about this today.
How are you not? What is there to not be a fan of?
All the funky floors, and then there's tournaments, and they don't mean crap. Can we just play basketball?
Caitlyn Clark has openly declared her support for an East against West All-Star format, a move that resonates with fans wanting for a classic rivalry-based battle in the WNBA. Clark feels this setup will not only bring heightened excitement to the All-Star game, but also create a platform to promote regional pride and honor the league's various skills. By matching the greatest players from the Eastern and Western conferences against each other, Clark sees a battle that will drive competitive intensity, magnify fan involvement, and stimulate discussions over which league boasts superior skill. This format, according to Clark, would also harken back to the golden days of basketball, bringing a nostalgic yet modern edge to the event. Her enthusiasm for this proposal reflects her greater dedication to growing the league and delivering unforgettable experiences for both players and fans, reinforcing her role as a visionary in the sport. Caitlyn Clark's journey into professional basketball was anything but typical, largely due to the disruptive consequences of the 2020 lockdowns. The global pandemic required considerable rescheduling across all levels of sports, generating a ripple effect that dramatically impacted players like Clark. For someone as motivated and competitive as her, the continual cancellations, delays, and alterations in training schedules offered a unique set of obstacles. Clark's regular rhythm, which relied on consistency and structure, was thrown off by the unpredictability of the pandemic. Opportunities to train with colleagues, compete regularly, and develop her game in a conventional atmosphere were extremely limited. This disturbed her routine and made her journey to the WNBA more challenging than it may have been under regular conditions. Despite these losses, Clark continued, adapting to the unexpected environment with grit and determination. Her ability to overcome these hurdles shows her resilience and commitment to greatness.
Obviously, Caitlyn, you don't need to help with the ratings, but it's been in the news a lot recently that the NBA ratings are down.
Mm-hmm.
Should we brainstorm a few ideas besides changing the NBA courts to bring back ratings into the NBA? What do you think?
That's a great
You're the
question.
marketing major. Come on.
I've been asking a lot of people about this and why they think they're down. But also, like, it's interesting because I'm pretty sure opening day was the NBA's best opening day in a while. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think
the
competing
Cavs are
against,
back, baby. The Cavs are fucking
They
rolling
are.
right now. You know what I'm saying?
They
It just
are.
makes the league better when Cleveland's thriving.
they're really, really good.
Fucking pulled that out of my ass. They are fun to watch right now.
So, well, let's ask this: what are your suspicions potentially as to why the NBA ratings would be down?
Honestly, like, I feel like the average just like basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are, and they think it looks like they're not trying. I promise you they're trying. They're just like so good. Like, that's why it looks like they're not trying. And obviously the physicality of the league has changed a lot, and I wasn't around when it was like much more physical, and maybe people want more like beef and physicality, and people think it's gotten soft. But I think that's also because the skill has just changed, and like, that's what's great about basketball. Like, it's always evolving. Like, it's going to be different than when MJ played. It's going to be different in 10 years than it is now. So it's hard for me to like put my finger on like why it has gone down. And also it's competing against a lot of football right now. You have to take that into consideration. Like, football is just, that's America's favorite thing. I think people should like, I love 3-point shooting. I love seeing guys just like launch threes, but not everybody loves that. So I don't know.
What do you think about a 4-point line?
I love that. Let's do it.
That's
a
actually
great idea.
genius. That is
Adam
genius.
Silver, 4-point line.
How does the criminal justice major come up with the best marketing plan right here?
Sometimes you just got to open your eyes, Jason. Look at the sheet of paper in front of you.
Addressing the fall in NBA viewership, Clark stated that the perceived decrease in toughness might be a contributing cause, with some fans feeling the game has gone soft. She advocated constructing a 4-point line to boost enthusiasm and competitiveness. Clark also noted the NFL's dominance in the sports landscape is influencing NBA numbers. As you would guess, Caitlyn Clark enjoys the notion of a 4-point line because why not? She currently holds the record for most three-pointers scored in a season. Why not stretch it to 4? That's the kind of dominance Caitlyn Clark holds over the WNBA, and no one can take that from her. She'll be going into the new season fresher than she was last time around, hopefully better than she was after the Olympic break. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. Stay tuned.